Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are doing this really cute coppery pink snowflake nail. So if you want to see how we did it, then keep on watching. Alright, so for today's video, I am using my prepped red iguana hand. I have the half hand, so it's only got 4 fingers, but it's good enough for practice. So I've got my tips in there, they're buffed, and I just wiped them down with a little bit of swipe from Young Nails, and I'm going to get ready to color. I'm not using a base coat because these are just practice nails, so I'm not wasting product doing all of that. But this first color I'm going in with is from Medusa. It is called Wonderlust, and it's a like a peachy pink almost. So I'm gonna do 2 coats of that on 3 of the fingers, and we'll do a different color on the middle finger. So I'm just gonna polish here, making sure to get nice and close to the cuticle, but not overrun it. And I polish in a weird order here. I'm not sure why I started with the ring finger. I wasn't exactly sure what I was gonna do. This design sort of took on its own sort of personality the longer that I went. So you'll see me sometimes do stuff that's like in a funky order, and that's just because I wasn't sure what I was gonna do until I was actually in the process of doing it. So get that color down, and then we'll be back for the next step. I hope you guys are feeling as in the Christmas spirit as I am. I don't know, something about 2020. As soon as Halloween was over, I was like ready to put up my Christmas decorations and get going on the next holiday. I do love Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving. I know Canadian Thanksgiving is at a different time, but I do love American Thanksgiving in the sense that it's, quality family time and all of that. But with everything that's going on in the world with the pandemic and the cases rising in the US, Thanksgiving seems like it's not going to be what it always is, and I'm just holding out hope for a little bit of normalcy come Christmas time. So I've been all Christmas everything pretty much for the last couple of weeks, and I don't feel bad about it at all. But I am really trying to get into some non-traditional winter colors this year. I have some sort of like paper, like scrapbook paper and things like that are in non-traditional colors, pastels and deep colors and things that I just am sort of using as inspiration. So you can see here with the copper and the pink, non-traditional Christmas colors. It's not your average sort of like green and red or blue and white. So I was really interested to see how this would all come together. So I'm taking that copper rose shade on a striper brush, and I'm just going to do a French on this ring finger. As you saw in the thumbnail, I do a French with a snowflake accent, and I wasn't sure sort of what shape I wanted this French to take. It ended up being sort of like a deep, elongated nail bed type of French. If I went back and did it again, I wouldn't do everything with my striper brush because it took me a little bit longer to fill it in than if I'd have just come back in with like a gel polish brush and just filled in those corners. But that's okay. The striper brush gives you a little bit more control, and when you're trying to get a shape just how you want it, sometimes it takes a little bit of playing around. So I'm going to get that to where I like it, and then we'll come back for the next part. All right, so once that's done, I'm gonna go and draw myself some icicles on the outer parts of the pinky and the index finger. So starting at the cuticle, I'm just going to give myself like a little half circle around half of the cuticle. I kind of want them falling off to the side. I really like that look. So I'm going to start by just drawing the length of my lines, the sort of icicle legs, and then I'm going to go back in at the top and sort of connect them to that semicircle, connect them to the cuticle area there, and make them a little bit more jagged, right? Icicles are not, well, some of them are straight perfect lines, but often, right, they fall at awkward angles and things like that. So I'm just going in, sort of making them imperfect, which is not hard to do. And then I'll do the same on the index finger here. Once you get that where you want it, go ahead and cure that off. So for our next step, we're coming in with some white gel paint. Now this is the primary white art gel from Medusa. And what's really nice about these gels is they are nice and thick in terms of the viscosity. They don't run. So when you're trying to do, fine details, line work, things like that, I really recommend using an art gel instead of a gel polish. Gel polish obviously tends to have a runnier consistency, so you're going to have to cure a lot more, and it's going to end up making your design take you a lot longer. And potentially in terms of the sort of pigmentation, you might end up using more product overall. So these are a great investment. They do cost a little bit more than, say, your typical sort of like gel polish that you can get. But as often as I pull these out and use them, they're well worth the cost. I have the art gels in all the primary colors. So they come in black, white, red, yellow, and blue. And you can really get creative with mixing them. You can get any sort of color or tone that you're looking for. I mean, we all know, right? Color theory, primary colors are the basis of sort of everything. And then you add white and black to get your different tones. So you can get super creative. If you guys are interested, I could do a gel mixing video. If you're interested in maybe seeing that, leave me a comment down below and I will add it to the list of things to film sort of over this winter holiday, because this is a good fun time for you to get a little bit of practice in. So I'm just taking this white art gel and I am outlining my icicles. I already did, as you can see, a dotted line and a straight line on the middle finger. That's the start of my plaid. But I wanted to tie the white into obviously the rest of the nails to give it a little bit more cohesive of a look. So I'm outlining the icicles, and it just, to me, I felt like it made them stand out quite a bit more and made them pop off of that sort of peachy pink base color. Hopefully you guys are okay with me using the red iguana hand for more of my future videos. My mom is still here with me during the COVID sort of quarantine phase. We're working from home some, and I'm going in and working some, but she's been working from home, and that's been awesome. Obviously I have her to do her nails, but She will be leaving me at some point, so I will probably have a lot more videos featuring this bad boy right here. All right, and then the last bit on these accent nails is just outlining the French. I'm just going to outline that copper in a white to tie in the white into the rest of the nails. So that was a good spot for me to stop and go ahead and cure. Now I'm going back into that Wanderlust color, and I'm going to add some pink on top of my plaid middle fingernail. So I'm still taking that same striper brush. This striper brush is one of my favorites. It is from Beetles. It came in a set, and it's the one that I use the most. It's the longest of the brushes in that set. And I trimmed it just a little bit, but it didn't really need much. You guys, if you have striper brushes or brushes that you're using and they're not thin enough, don't be scared to trim them. It's a really good option to give you a little bit more control, give you the option to do some more precise detail work and not feel like your brush is sort of flying all over the place. So if you have any questions about that, leave them down below and I will get to them as soon as I get a chance. But there are some really good tutorials on brush trimming. You just got to kind of look around, but I can also give you guys some more information as to the best of my knowledge. So again, this is a Medusa color gel, and what's really nice, like I said, is you can cross your lines and it's not gonna run, right? These gels have really good control. They don't run all over the place, so you don't have to cure as often. But I did go ahead and cure that pink before going back in with my white for a few more details, just to finish off this plaid finger. All right, back after curing that plaid nail, we are going in with a dotting tool. Now this snowflake is one of my favorites. It is very easy, but it looks really elegant and it doesn't require too much detail work and only a slightly steady hand. So I'm gonna go ahead and do some dots, working my way out from the center so they get a little bit smaller as they go out. But it's basically 2 dots in a row off of the center line in every direction. So I do 4 arms out, and then I do an additional 4 in the spaces in between. So you're gonna have a lot of arms, which also makes your snowflake look like it's got a lot more detail than it probably actually does. So we're gonna leave that uncured, and then before we cure it off, I'm gonna take my liner brush and I'm gonna run from the center to the outside of each of those lines. So you get that nice sort of sharp point at the end, and it pulls through the circles and just gives a really cool looking effect. But again, of course, this is a very, very simple snowflake. I will come back some point probably in December and do some more snowflakes just to give you an idea of some more options that you have. There are obviously millions of ways to draw snowflakes. They are all different and they are imperfect, so don't stress too much. Just try and get a steady hand, right? Make sure that you're balancing your finger. You can see my pinky is balancing on the red iguana hand. Sometimes it's balancing on my own hand. Just depends on what angle I'm working from, but you always want to try and brace your finger so that you've got something steady to work off of. And again, super simple, but really effective. All right, so the design is essentially done. I'm gonna go ahead and throw down some shiny top coat. This is the High Gloss Snow White top coat from Medusa, and then we'll be done. All right, you guys, here is the finished design all top coated. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Tag me if you recreate it. Again, follow me on my social media channel and check out another video. We'll see you next time. Bye, guys.